What is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, founder of appmasters.com, the place you go when you want action-packed content in the app business. And today, we're going to be talking about how to take your app, bypass the app stores, and get it directly to the consumer. So if you're interested in that, you're going to love this episode. Today, I've got a phenomenal guest. His name is Matt Tubergen. He is the Executive Vice President of Global Revenues and Growth at Digital Turbine. They've got a brand new product called Single Tap that we're going to talk all about. But if you want to check them out, it is digitalturbine.com. And all that is linked up in your favorite podcast app and the show notes. Without further ado, Matt, welcome to the show.
Hey, Steve. Thank you. Really appreciate being here.
So for those who aren't familiar, Matt, can you tell us a little bit about Digital Turbine?
Yeah, so Digital Turbine is really interesting. So at least I think so anyways, and a lot of folks that work with us. So Digital Turbine is actually what we used to be classified as a value-added services company, but we developed a product called Ignite, and Ignite actually gets embedded directly in the operating system of Android devices, and carriers, telcos, OEMs around the globe use Ignite to basically customize their phones. And so we do things like preload applications. We have widgets and folders that sits directly on the devices that recommend content and great applications for users. And then, as you mentioned, we've got this new product called Single Tap, which allows app advertisers and marketers distribute their application directly to the phone in a much more seamless way. We'll get into that here in a little bit.
Yeah, I want to learn more about that, because is it like any app developer? So I could be a small guy in a garage like I am, kind of get it straight into like these fancy Android phones.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So depending on the product, so our preload product, you can actually work with Digital Turbine to have your application preloaded on all the great carriers and OEMs that are out there. So Verizon, Samsung, AT&T, we power the preloading platform for those carriers and those telcos. And then with the Single Tap product, we actually, if you are running an advertising campaign or a marketing campaign, you can actually use our Ignite platform to deliver a direct install from any banner ad click, any video play, even if you're doing playable ads. Right now, if you click as a user and without using our Single Tap Ignite product, you have to redirect. You go through multiple redirects. You could potentially land up on an app store. Users seeing all the other products that are recommended by the app stores that are out there. In this case, Single Tap literally starts the download directly from the Single Tap and from our Ignite platform. And so it's a much, much faster way and seamless way for you as a marketer to be able to get the application that you're marketing in the hands of your consumers directly from the media spends that you have.
That is freaking amazing, actually. I'll go through some of the stats that I have on the research that we've done. So obviously, everybody knows about the 30% take that Apple and Google are going to take. And then this is one stat I didn't know. The App Store friction could reduce installs of upwards of 75%. So from especially the big guys who are running ads on Facebook and all these and Google UACs, I didn't know that there was that much friction that could reduce from the clicks to the actual downloads.
Yeah, and there's also, it's not even just the App Store, it's the general marketing scape right now of all the redirects and everything going on. Right now, typically if you're a marketer and your stat, your click to install stat, right? Your CTI as a marketer is typically at best, like 1.5, 2% in terms of click to install rates. I mean, you're clicking an ad and then opening up that application. When you leverage Single Tap, it's upwards of 10 times. I mean, we've seen some phenomenal growth on, 1,000x increase here in click to install rates. And not all performance is the same for each campaign, but, we're talking 10 to 15% open rates, not, 1.5 or 2% at best. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So Matt, I'm imagining this is more for the big guys. So we all know about Fortnite going directly to the consumer.
Yeah.
But what about for the smaller? I know the audience is not like from the big guys, right? They're running their own studios. They have a budget, may not be as big as the big guys. What do you have? What's your recommendation for them? Because I'm thinking like this is more for like the big guys out there.
Yeah, no, so I'll turn on your head. I actually think it's for everybody that wants to leverage it, that's really, really smart about their market. They know who their consumers are. This is not just the big guys. And quite frankly, not a lot of big guys are using it, at least right now. They may in the future, but this could actually be something that helps a smaller studio or an in-home shop actually get access and be able to use their dollars a heck of a lot more wisely as a marketer and actually beat some of the other media spends from some of the other big guys. This could actually help one up some of the smaller guys to actually compete against a lot of the larger app companies that are out there. that are taking up the majority of the ad space, and have just made it so expensive. So it's actually it could be a solution for some of the smaller guys, and quite frankly, we built this this Ignite product for the purpose of serving telcos and OEMs and helping them provide service and solutions to providers in many cases, or app providers. In many cases, they're always looking for fresh new content, fresh new ways to be able to, to show off a device or show off a new service. And it's something that is meaningful for a lot of the smaller app developers to be able to get in front of that. There's clear synergies there. Now, it is true that the majority of the of the ad spenders out there are limited to 200 or 250 ad buyers in terms of app install marketers, but at the same time, this could be something that could actually help cut in between some of the other things that the other big guys aren't doing.
I want to talk about the other way that you guys operate. So if it's not single tap where I'm running an ad, I'm getting it right onto the user's device, but what about the other way? Like I want to work with you guys to be preloaded on the phone. How does that work properly? Like, you said Ignite, so I just want to make sure I'm clear as well as the listeners. Yeah. But Ignite is an app on the App Store, so it becomes preloaded within another app. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So Ignite actually gets embedded, and this is the interesting part. So for a lot of the technology focused guys that are out there in your audience here, is Ignite actually gets embedded in the system partition of the Android device. And so we work with, again, the larger telcos in the space, so the Verizons, the AT&Ts, the Samsungs of the world. And when they ship a device, they actually have a firmware set that goes onto that device before it gets sent out to stores and distributors and all these things. And that firmware model, that base firmware software set includes Ignite. And so Ignite is embedded in the operating system as it's sent from the manufacturer to the store. And then when it gets lit up at the store and the device gets turned on by a user or retailer, we basically, at that point in time, that's when Ignite lights up. It determines LG or LTE 4G 5G connection, and then starts to select, in terms of the preload product, selects which applications are most appropriate for that user based on their device make, model, the carrier, the country that they're in. Oh, wow. And we preload the top applications that are appropriate for that device. Okay. And then, so to your question though, is, hey, if you're either a mom and pop shop or you're a smaller app developer, how in the world do you get your applications preloaded on these devices? Because it looks like to a smaller shop, my God, I gotta be Facebook, I gotta be Yelp, I gotta be eBay in order to be able to do these types of deals. And the reality is that's not the case. You can come to Digital Turbine. Now we have very, very stringent requirements in order to be able to preload applications on the phone. We do not work with anybody and everybody, but if you have reasonable content that can be valuable for users and fits the framework for how we work with app developers, then you, regardless, small or large, can work with Digital Turbine to have your applications then preloaded when that new device lights up and Ignite says, hey, give me 4 or 6 applications to preload onto that device. Your application, even as a smaller developer, again, assuming it's approved in our network, would be preloaded as well.
Now, if I have a analytics or an attribution tool, all that will work with single tap as well.
Great question. So we work with all the attribution companies that are out there, Adjust and others that are doing, a phenomenal job being able to track. We actually have, and just actually for your audience here, there's actually custom solutions, and Adjust is one of them. It's been great as a custom solution for preloading of applications. So you as an app marketer or a media buyer can basically set up your system so that you can attribute all preloads. It's a little bit different from the standard user acquisition. User sees an ad, user clicks on an ad, user opens up an application. Obviously, that doesn't happen the same way as a preload. And so all the MMPs and attribution companies have created a service, and certainly Adjust is out there that has their own custom solution. Yeah.
Hey, Matt, along those lines, what campaigns have worked the best? So you say, okay, these categories of apps work best from a preloading campaign, but have you guys seen, and I'm sure it's all the same, but have you guys seen different types of campaigns work best for that single tap type of platform?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so I would actually flip it on its head. So we actually see, the type of campaign doesn't actually matter. When I say campaign, I mean application category. So whether it's weather or news or sports or gaming, really it doesn't matter as much. However, what really matters using single tap is the type of advertisement that you're running. So if you're buying traditional banner, ads out at an exchange or working with another network to buy banner ads, you'll likely see anywhere from 2 to 3 times improvement in your the click to install rate that we talked about earlier in the session. However, if you're working things like video ads or playable ads, you can see well north of 10 times the conversion rate, because it's a higher intent and users are clicking intent, downloading an application, and using that application immediately. It's just a much more seamless process. So typically, the higher the resolution of the ad type and the deeper the ad experiences, the higher the conversion rate improvements are by using single tap.